A tragedy impossible to forget. The crash of Flight 255.
Very, very quickly it became apparent that we were not going to be able to save somebody.
Tonight, one of the first responders shares how that day has haunted him for 32 years.
He's a Metro Detroiter. He has struggled for 3 decades because of what he encountered on August 16, 1987. 156 people died in the crash of Flight 255. 1 person survived.
And now this first responder has found a way to express his emotions and remember the tragedy in a positive way. Here's Jason Colthorpe.
It was very overwhelming. There's just nothing that can prepare you as a first responder for that kind of event.
In 1987, Andy Graves was 21 and just 2 years into his career as a first responder. He was working for Huron Valley Ambulance August 16th when the call came in about 8:46 p.m. at his station in Ypsilanti.
And what immediately caught our ear was 2 station alarms went off back to back, and in our system that was really unusual.
On the way to the scene, Andy and his crew were cautioned about how many victims there would be.
The first thing we came across was a vehicle that had been struck by the plane, and that was the first casualty we saw. That person was not savable.
So they kept walking and searching.
Just checking every victim, trying to find somebody that we could potentially save, and very, very quickly it became apparent that we were not going to be able to save somebody.
The shock of it all is evident in this picture.
In the picture, this was taken by the Detroit Free Press, and this ran in the paper the next morning.
That's Andy in the middle.
We are right at the front section of the fuselage where the cockpit would be, and we're looking, hoping that maybe a flight attendant or a pilot, a co-pilot is somewhere in there that we could save.
He keeps this picture in a closet because, as you might imagine, working that crash scene took its toll on the emergency crews, even with the counseling that began the day after the crash.
It has been with me every day for 32 years, and for about 20 years I really struggled with PTSD and depression, particularly around the anniversary of the crash.
But it was the 20th anniversary when Andy turned a corner after attending the memorial for the first time.
Little by little, year by year, since 2007, just starting to build positive memories so that when I think of the accident, I don't automatically go back to me and my partner walking on Middle Belt Road.
Also helping was his musical background.
Reached out to my keyboard and the intro came out almost immediately, which is this.
The intro is for a song about the crash called August Rain. He wrote it years ago from a first responder point of view, but it just didn't work. After last August's memorial, he tackled the song again, this time with his new collaborator, Mindy Odom.
He shared the story with me, and it really came from a place deep in his soul.
We approached it from the universal perspectives of grief, loss, healing, hope, faith, and the song was just born within a couple of days. And then this is the whole beginning of the song, just...
When you're singing it and you hear the words, does it hit you sometimes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It was a August summer day.
I wanted to do my very best to bring life to the song in a way that would honor everybody that was lost and those that were left behind.
The song has been very well received by the victims' families and also by people who have no idea what it's really about. But if you listen closely, really closely, you'll hear a hidden connection to the crash.
The way we did that was we hid the flight number in a musical pattern in the song.
God help us through the rain.
As Mindy is singing, there's a pattern of bells, and the first time the bells ring, it's 2 bells. And then 10 seconds later, 5 bells. And then 10 seconds later, 5 more bells. And of course, that could only mean Flight 255.
Andy and Mindy are donating all the proceeds from August Rain to the Salvation Army of Southfield. And that's because they spoke to a family member of 255, and they came to that conclusion because every year for decades, that Salvation Army has provided staff and a refreshment truck for all the memorial gatherings of 255. In Romulus, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
In the August rain.
So hard to move forward from that.
It really is, but the beauty that they've found to put together in that song, such a beautiful tribute. And if you'd like to hear the song in its entirety, we have it posted on our website, clickondetroit.com.